everyone. Rise and shine. Guess what time it is? It is Wednesday morning, and it's time for Wake Up Wednesday with Sharon and I. Today, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sharing with you what I call what's new in makeup. I'm not too sure what Sharon is covering, but I'm sure there's never going to be a dull moment in her neck of the woods. So I'll have the link to her channel down below. Make sure to go on over and say hello after you finish watching me. So, without any further ado, you know the drill, ladies. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and if you're across the pond, a glass of wine or a glass of champagne, and let's get busy. Okay, I'm not having a cup of coffee because, believe it or not, this is the end of the day. I have been running around all day. I normally record first thing in the morning, but unfortunately, I forgot to charge the batteries. So here we go. This is end of the day makeup, and let's get through this. Now, for those of you that have been with me for a while, you know I don't do hauls per se. And the reason I don't is when I get new products, I like to put them to the test first and see whether I really like them or not. So all of these have been Diva approved, and I'm going to start like from the base right up to finishing off with the lipsticks. So for the base, I have two foundations that I want to share with you, and the first one is it's the Influencer, the Clean Long Wear Foundation by Sunday Riley. Now this is a new foundation. It's with a pump. This is what I'm wearing today. It is beautiful. It states that it's natural looking, long wear, lightweight feel, satin matte finish, medium to full coverage. I can attest to them. That's all. I think the beauty about this foundation is that it feels like a second skin. That's exactly what it feels like. Great wear time. I get a good 12 to 15 hours out of it. Beautiful, beautiful foundation. And I'm in the shade 140. So if you're looking for full coverage, it's going to give you, as they say, a satin to matte finish, like this kind of finish, then you will like this foundation. The second one that I'm going to share with you, I'm been really late to the party on this one. And these are the Hourglass, the Vanish Stick foundations. It took me a while to jump on board with them because I have never had any luck with any Hourglass foundations, whether they're tinted moisturizers or their foundations. They always oxidized on me. Like by noon, I looked like a big pumpkin. But I thought, let me give these a try. Now, so many people love them, and they are beautiful. Now, one of the things I have to a cautionary recommendation. They tend to run a little dark. I would say just go a shade or two down. You will be much more pleased with the outcome of your foundations. I have two because I like to mix two. I have vanilla and ivory, and these are creamy. They're beautiful. They blend like a dream. Now I use these two shades. What I do is I use the lighter one in the center of my face and the one that's slightly darker on the outer perimeters of my face. These they're beautiful. They're beautiful. They don't oxidize. They blend like a dream. However, there's very little product in these sticks. So if this is your only foundation, it's gonna end up costing you a pretty penny to restock on it. I just find there could have been a little bit more product in that. But for me, because I have so many foundations, it really doesn't make a difference. But if that is a concern of you, I'd take a pass on this one. Next step, we're going into powders. There are two powders that I have fallen in love with, and the first one, which is the Becca Hydra Mist powder. This is a beautiful, beautiful finishing powder or setting powder. It's got one of these little plastic closures because it does feel wet when you put it on the skin. It's very cooling. It does a beautiful job at minimizing your pores and appearances of fine lines. It's beautiful. It reminds me, Trisha Beauty with Trish. You remember the one that you sent me by Kose? I think it was Kose. That same cooling effect. I loved that powder. I finished that one. That's what this one reminds me of. So it is. It's a beautiful setting powder. The next one, which to me is La Pièce de la Résistance, I've heard very few people talk about this, but it's the new Hourglass. It's called the Translucent Veil Translucent Setting Powder. This is beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful powder. The interior, obviously, it's just got a little mesh there, and it's got a gold, sort of gold casing around it. I love this one. This is the lap of luxury and gives the really high-end powders a run for their money. I find this better than Chanel. I find it better than the YSL. It is beautiful. If I had a choice between the Hydra Mist or the Hourglass, I would say go with the Hourglass. It's beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Okay, now we're going to move on to bronzers. You know me, I have a little bit of an addiction with bronzers. Never can have enough bronzers. The first one is kind of cutesy. I don't normally fall for cutesy packaging, but the Unicorn Tears. I thought it was My Little Pony, actually. And this is one here. If you look at it, it's got this kind of lavender, I don't know what that is, but what it does, when you blend it with the bronzer, it gives such a beautiful dimension to the skin. I'm wearing this today, and this was recommended, actually, Trish from Beauty with Trish. She's the one who had raved about this bronzer, and you're not kidding, Trish. It is so pretty. It just gives a beautiful finish on the skin. So if you're looking for something new and fun, this is a really nice one. Another fabulous bronzer is by Guerlain, and this is the terracotta, but the mosaic one, and I'm in the shade, what's it called? I'm in the shade Natural Rose, which is the shade number 2. Now, this is beautiful. It's soft. It's subtle. It's Guerlain. Smells like $1,000,000. And I have to tell you honestly about the Guerlain terracotta bronzers. I have never, ever had any luck with the terracotta bronzers. They always ran too warm on me, and I have to be very careful because I have a very pink and red undertone. So anything that is too warm, initially when I put it on, it's fine, but as the day progresses, the warmth of the bronzer will turn orange on me, and that's what happens with that entire terracotta range. This one, on the other hand, because it is a mosaic and it's cool, so the bronzer that is in here is more of a cooler tone. It does not pull orange whatsoever. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I forgot to mention as well, with the powders, is the Becca Under Eye Brightening Setting Powder. I heard about this through my beautiful friend Marlene. Hi, Marlene of Fab and Glam Over 50. Love her. She had recommended this powder, and it is excellent for setting your under eye concealer. Now, I have also the one by Laura Mercier, the Secret Brightening Powder. That one I don't like to set my under eyes with. This one I can. It does not crease, which is paramount for me. It cannot crease on me. That drives me insane. So this is beautiful. Now we're going to move on. So we did the blushes, we did the bronzers. Let's move on to blushes. Now the latest from Benefit is this Gold Rush blush, which is described as I think a warm golden nectar blush. Now this is a very, very subtle blush, and I think a lot of reviews have been is that it's really not that much of a blush. There's nothing to it. Here's the trick. Pull out, if you do have a coral blush, you can use a coral or a pink, but I like the California one. This came out, I think, last summer. So this is just a lovely coral. And I have that on today. And what I did is I put this one on first, and then I double blushed it with this. And this just makes, it's a marriage made in heaven. Absolutely beautiful, subtle, just gives that nice little sheen. You don't need to add an additional highlight because this has highlight in it. So if you do have this, try to combine it with another blush, and you'll see it'll look like $1,000,000. Now we're going to move on to eyes. And I've only got one palette to share with you. I have all of the Huda Obsessions palettes. The only one I don't have is the one with the brights. Now this is the latest to her addition to her collection, which is the Coral Obsessions. Now, This is lovely. It really is. It's a nice summer palette. However, if you're only going to get one palette, I wouldn't recommend this one because it's not a standalone palette. There's no brow bone shade. There's no, there should have been a darker matte shade just to anchor to do your outer V. I think there's just too many of these colors are just too similar. Like these three colors, one of them could have been a little darker. These two are too similar. I think this one should have been a nice brow bone shade. I love the Papa Yellow though. The Papa Yellow is fun. This again, it's just these two are again too similar. It's not a standalone. It's a great companion palette. So that's just my thoughts, and I'm keeping it because I'm using it as a companion palette, and I think it's really fun for the summer. Now we'll move on to last but not least, what's new in the lipstick world, in my lipstick world. The one I'm wearing today, which is a NARS Audacious. I love the NARS Audacious lipsticks. And this is in the shade Stefania. It's beautiful. There's just something about their lipsticks that are just so luxurious when you put them on. But it's a beautiful fuchsia that pulls very blue with a blue undertone, which is I like. And don't you just love this? I think it's so sexy and sleek. So NARS Audacious is a beautiful one. The next one is by Estee Lauder, and I've worn this a couple of times in my videos. And this is their Pure Color Envy Liquid Matte in the color Orchid Flare. This is phenomenal. I don't do well with liquid lipsticks. I find they're too drying. This one does not. It dries down to a beautiful matte finish. It doesn't turn your lips into cement. It's gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. I'm going to get more of these ones. And the last but not least is what I apply over my lipsticks in the summer. And this is probably going on 5 years in a row since I first discovered this 5 years ago. And this is by Christian Dior. It's the Dior Addict Fluid Stick in Tropique number 379. I buy this every year because the color is like, it's a coral. Are you going to be able to see it? Oh, hold on, let me just, okay, you can't really see it because you know what, my hand's got oil on it because I used the, hold on, let me bear with me here. Let me put it on the other hand here. Okay, this works better. You see, it's got a coral shift to it. And what I use this for is that I use it as a topper for all of my lipsticks in the summer because it turns my lipsticks into a nice watermelon kind of shade. I buy this every summer and I love it. So if you're looking for something just to change up without having to buy new lipstick, you get something like this and you just add a little je ne sais quoi to your look and it just kicks it up a notch. So that's all that's new and exciting in the makeup world here at the at the Diva House. So hopefully you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. And on that note, what does Natalie tell you? Natalie tells you when you look at yourself in the mirror, Natalie tells you you're beautiful. Because you know what? You are. You're beautiful inside. The rest is just decoration. Face of the day outfit will be down below. Je vous embrasse de Montréal. Soyez prudents, soyez belles et à la prochaine. Au revoir.